Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we will talk about the MA610P, a CPU cooler from Cooler Master with double fan and RGB lighting. The dimensions of this cooler are 166.5 of length and 130.9 of wide, which makes it a bit of a big ass cooler. So before buying this one, be sure that it will fit in your case. This square one is the support that goes on the back of your motherboard, which all the screws will come to assemble the CPU cooler. As you can see now in the picture, there are two types of mounting, one for Intel and one for AMD. The one in Intel has several marks, which changes depending on the socket that you might have, being this model a multi-socket cooler. For Intel purposes, you just need to move the screw a bit forward or backward depending on the position of the socket. To assemble the screws of the cooler chassis, we need to remove both fans that comes each with two grips on the side, very easy to remove. Be careful when unplugging both fans because they are connected with a short 4-pin cable that goes to the top of the cooler for the RGB lighting. Assembling the screws on the chassis is very simple. There is just no way to get lost in here. Just one screw, each one on each side, and you are good to go. So now that we have the base installed, we just put it at the back of the motherboard. Note to be a bit careful with the screws to not scratch the back of your motherboard and maybe ruin it. And as you can see here in the picture, you will have these 4 screws coming on top of your motherboard. For each one of these screws, we will use a double nut that it will work both as fixing the base to the motherboard and also working as the base where we mount our cooler. Please be a bit careful when screwing these double nuts. So just be gentle and don't put it too strong. You just need it to make it fix so it doesn't move, but pretty much that. So once you finish that, you will see now that you have everything ready to mount the CPU cooler. Right now, just apply a little bit of thermal pound on the center of the CPU. Also, before installing it, don't forget to remove the security sticker. It wouldn't be the first time that someone forget about this. Now, screw one of the sides, but not completely, just a little bit to make it not to go away from there. Then go to the opposite side. So once the cooler is fixed, it's time to plug in back both fans. Remember the short cables with the 4 pins. You connect those first, then each fan, and you are basically good to go. And now that it's finished, you just need to sit down and enjoy the colorful show. After this little show, we will see now the performance of the fan, both in thermal and acoustics. On the thermal side, thanks to our friends of Tweakdown, we can see that the Cooler Master MA610P is not among the best of the coolers on the market. On the other side, on an acoustic level, it works a bit better. So as a conclusion, what to say? Well, to be honest, at least objectively speaking, this Cooler Master has been a delight in general. It has been a truly surprise, both in acoustics and performance. After more than 25 minutes of CPU stress, the fan didn't go upper 1000 RPM, which is very low level. And the temperature, well, it's an i3. Okay, we know that it's not the hottest CPU on the market, but it was like 54, I think, the highest value. And if there is something that I could complain about, just to say something, it will be the brackets. Why? Because as you've seen before, the fan case comes integrated, unlike these ones, for example, that you can put this bracket out and mount another fan in case in 5 years the fan, you know, start making a lot of noise because it's starting to die. So in this case, it will be very easy to replace it for a newer fan or a better fan, but with the Cooler Master being all one piece, you will have to look for the original supplier if they sell, you know, these kind of things in maybe 5 or 6 years. So that will be it. I hope you like it. If you have any questions, just don't hesitate and write it on the chat, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.